When's the last time you played?
It's been a few weeks. I've played
As
I've
in two
played
years.
Some bed wars with some friends. No,
Okay,
it's
okay,
good.
okay.
I rock the high pixel. I rock it. I want to be on the top of this mountain, dog.
All right, I'm coming. So, when were you first diagnosed?
Um, a few years ago, I went to I was going to a psychiatrist, and about a few years ago, it was around when I moved here, so like eighth grade. So it was kind of young. It sucked. It was really just moving here, being a kid, not having any friends, and being too scared to make friends. I tried to get over that as quick as I could, but the psychiatrist really wasn't working. I mean, I was pretty mature as a kid, I guess. I learned that it was just a waste of money in the long run. I don't know, it just kind of turned me off of the get help thing, and I kind of just dealt with it. But that was, obviously had negative aspects to it as well. Like, not to sound like stereotypical, I guess you could say. I mean, there's nothing. Everybody has their own issues, but I was big into cutting and the stupid things, but not to get attention. Like, a lot of people think that that's for attention, and it's really, I can understand why people would say that, but as somebody who did that, it's not whatsoever. It's kind of therapeutic. I mean, is obviously you should never harm yourself in any way, but I mean, I was a little kid, just I don't know, angry at the world for things that I shouldn't have been, and just my looks. I hated the way I looked, still do to this day. And everybody has that little shred of self-hatred, I guess, self-loathing, and it's not a bad thing all the time, because it's never good to be narcissistic or to love yourself too much.
So, what you building right now?
Um,
I guess I'll
Good
find out.
question,
I,
Alex.
I guess I'll find
It's a
out.
good, it's a good question, Mr. Parsa. Yeah, I don't know. I was just going through middle school stuff. Everybody did. They all have rough times. I mean, kids, whenever you move anywhere, it's always rough. Not knowing anybody and all the good stuff that comes with moving to a new place. Yeah, when I moved here, my grades. I mean, I couldn't find the focus. It was really pitiful, honestly, because I was a straight A student. I had the highest grades at my entire school, and I mean, it wasn't anything to really brag about, since my school was nothing special in terms of grades. I don't know. I know that I could do better, and I always knew that I could do better, but I just kind of lost it. There's a lot of family issues has to do with that. I was always too scared to talk to anybody, and whenever somebody did talk to me, I almost felt like they were just making fun of me, because from my old school moving here, I had one friend at the time, and then when I moved here, he just completely cut me off. That sucked. I won't lie about it. That sucked. That hit the hardest for me when I did move here. And you never want that. People kind of grow apart. But I was afraid to move here because my old school, I did get bullied really bad. Another part of the depression, I guess you could say, was because I took Accutane for my acne, because I had horrible acne, and it just ran in my family. It was just kind of a bad teenager thing. I don't know. I tried to get used to it, but everybody told me to just suck it up, and that I was being over dramatic. But I mean, it's always the people that aren't in your position that treat you like that, because they would be complaining probably twice as much as you if they were in your position. But it did eventually get better. It took a long time, but I started enjoying myself here, and nothing ever got better with the family, sadly. It's only gotten worse, but I've done better in school. I've been trying a lot harder in life, and it's worked out. It has. So my birthday last year, actually, my mom, she's always been a crazy, like, alcoholic, and those type of people, it never really works out good. It was my birthday, like I said, and I tried to forget about it, and honestly, thinking now, it's hard to remember the specific details, but she just went on a rampage and told my siblings to, one of them asked her to make them food, and I've got 4 little siblings, and she basically like told them, go to hell and call your dad, I don't want you anymore. And keep in mind, I mean, these are little kids, they're about 6 and 5 at the time, and then the older ones were 11 and 10. I mean, these are still just kids, barely even teenagers. And so, they said, call your dad. She said, call your dad, I don't want you anymore. So, they say, okay, because they like their dad. And then she said, no, if you do that, I'll kill you. Like, obviously she was drunk. It's just one of those things. So then one of them came crying to me, and I said, yeah, come into my room. We'll get this figured out. And so this is all happening, 11 p.m. to like 3 a.m. that night. And this was my birthday night. So, I just turned 17, and it was supposed to be a happy time for me. But never mind me. I was more worried about my siblings than anything. Sorry. I'm just thinking about this. It kind of sucks. They came into my room, and once she found out that they were in my room, she came and she was just kicking my door in, and eventually I just had to call the police because she was just there's still a hole in my door to this day. It never got fixed. That was the worst for me because that was the time that I completely just cut off my relationship with my mom. Because you just can't, you can't keep somebody like that in your life. It'll always have you negative. Obviously it's your mother, and I have to live in the same house as her because my grandparents, they bought us our house. And there's nothing I can really do about it. That was probably one of the worst times in my life. And it doesn't really seem like much. But it really did affect me, and that was just the day that I knew I'd never have a relationship with her no matter how hard I tried. There were several other, smaller instances where things like that had happened, but it was mainly that. And then just the way that she treats people around her is it's horrible. And everybody has their faults, but it was like this was just constantly. A few weeks ago, her boyfriend, I guess, just completely destroyed our house. He just went on a rampage of drugs, pain medication, all the stops, just completely lost it, went nuts. And he was just non-responsive, and I was out having our prom night that me, my girlfriend, and a group of friends were having. And I had to come home because my siblings called me crying, saying that, he had gone insane. And he was beating my mom and things like that. And I was more worried about the kids' safety, as bad as that sounds. That's just the way it is. I was really worried for them and just wanted them to be okay. So I came and I helped them. And it was really painful because you could see through the windows him just destroying everything. And there was nothing I could do but wait for the police to come. It was a hard few days last week. It was really rough. And
Well, your siblings will know that you'll always be there for them.
yeah, I do what I can, but I'm about to go to college and not going to be close to the house, and I just hope everything works out for them. They're all strong kids. I wish that I could say that it's just one of those things that's an easy fix. Unfortunately, it's not, and I don't think that it'll ever be. But I do make music, and I've always been big into music, like even if it's been just playing guitar or whatever the case may be. Yes, just like I said, and my girlfriend, she's really supportive. You just have to find that somebody in your life and hold on to them, because that's all you'll have at the end of the day. just trying to fix this last.
I can
little
tell you're
piece.
struggling.
I'm having a bad time right now, just trying to choose what to do. I mean, my faith helped me as well. It's not for everyone, of course, but for me, it did help. And try to find a hobby. That's really what you can do. You try and find a hobby and you try and get your mind off of it, and you just gotta hope that one day, and know that one day it will be better for you, and it won't always be like what you're going through. And maybe one day you'll even have a house on the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
This is my home.
So you spawn a bunch of animals on it. There's a pleasant surprise for you on the ceiling.
It's perfect.
The perfect touch. I did my part.
Alright. This is awesome. And now for the final. Oh wait. The keeper of the house. Gotta give somebody to live in it.
You gotta pay it forward.
Yes, of course. Always pay it forward. That's the lesson.
He walked off. He's going away. Oh.